I wrote part of this down in my musing on Patreon, and I've again, for this lesson, I thought I'd recall my musing of doing lesson 7 for the first time.
Right.
There's a bit of a personal practice that I started to do. So I'll just read it to you and see if you can follow the start of my
I'll see if I
popping out
I'll
of
get to a
time.
nice experience at the end of it.
Yeah. So obviously I go on to talk. Each lesson is obviously perfectly going on to
They're all linked, aren't
they're
they?
so lovely linked.
Yeah.
And lesson 6, I realize, rolls into lesson 7, and I identified in we identified in lesson 6, didn't we, that something, because I see something that's not there. Well, yeah, the past, quite frankly.
Exactly, not there.
So we kind of got to that, and I concluded, oh, right, okay, so I've placed past meaning, past understanding. I'm carrying past upsets, because I've never been seeing the true present moment.
No.
I've only been seeing a memory of all things on the street, in this place, as the
Exactly.
course states, and even in this cup, there's a past thing. This is all memory. This is all memory. And then this is where my kind of interest in the sciencey stuff gets, if we want, whatever. But I try and put it in a way that I can kind of jump through if the paradigms, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I started to look at our materialist paradigm, and I looked at the lesson. I see only the past, and I applied this in a very, very literal sense. So I was kind of like, well, actually, my physical eyes, my 3-dimensional eyes in the 3D, that makes us up, are literally only seeing the past, because in our current scientific paradigm, we have the concept of light speed. So this is the idea that light hits an object in our physical reality, bounces off this object, and into our eyes for us to then perceive it.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, the travel of this light through space takes time, which is why we call it light speed.
Yes.
So and it's a lot easier to understand in the context of a star. So when we look up at the night sky, these lights, these stars, take light years to reach our eyes.
Yeah.
So we're literally looking at the past in a star.
Yeah.
We're looking so far in the past in the star. So that's an easier way. But in our present moment, I'm looking at this. This is milliseconds or less than milliseconds.
Yes.
But I have to completely acknowledge that my seeing is still past.
Yes.
My physical seeing is still past, because I go into then the second problem is that then after we've seen that past, whether it be a millisecond away, we then must perceive the thing.
Yes.
Or perceive the thing. And then the problem is because we think we're in a moving space at all times, we then have to predict where we are in relation to this thing now, because we're not seeing it in the present. We actually know that it's in the past by a millisecond or so, or however long it might be. It's less than a millisecond, really. But because our minds are doing all this work, they know it's in the past. So we predict where it is in relation to us now.
Yes.
In the present, you see. But in doing that, in going, I've seen this thing in the past and I'm predicting where I am in it now, you're missing that split middle bit, which is the present of what it is and where it is and the very essence of what it is. So there's a tiny bit of time there that I was really like, well, what's happening there? What's happening there? And I think I go on to it on lesson 8, which gets very exciting. This is where my breakthrough happened, on lesson 8. So I'll save that little split of time to go into it more on lesson 8.
That slither of time.
Exactly. But anyway, so I have to acknowledge this delay, however small it may be, because everything is technically therefore a memory.
Yes.
Even if it's a millisecond ago, even if it's a microsecond or however small, I don't actually know the terminology for like less than milliseconds, but it's probably micro or something. So yeah, it's a memory. Everything is a memory in that case.
Yes.
So
Very good.
that's where I got to with lesson 7, if you followed.
Yes, and that sums up the physical universe.
It does sum up the physical, yeah. And then I go on to say, so what about metaphysical seeing? So I do carry on in my musing. Because we're in obviously a separate subjective state, I say that we project our meaning and everything that we're taught and this reality, and it kind of goes from inside out, not outside in. So although the current paradigm suggests light is coming from outside in, and that's how you're perceiving the meaning and everything, and all of everything that you're creating is going from inside back out. So we get this little inside out experience that I'm starting to comprehend a little bit.
Very good.
And in this instance, what we're projecting out is a memory. Again, is a literal memory.
Yeah.
So you can see the cogs in my mind really working at full speed here to grasp this. I see only the past. Yes, I literally do see only the past.
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of where I got to there. So now, before I get to the next process, which is, so we see the past, which is what I'm working on now.
Yeah.
Perceiving is another layer.
Yes.
Like I say, that's to come. But then I was really kind of like, well, how am I going to actually ever experience the present at this point? How am I actually going to get that present moment? And then I spoke about this before, I think on lesson 6. I need to approach something as if I've never encountered it before. And it's completely new. I have zero memory, no memory. I'm formulating a completely new memory. I'm not approaching this cup and having all my memory of this cup. I need to almost erase memory of cup and see it for the first time.
Yes.
See it for the first time. How can I get there? And so anyway, fun thing. And I wondered as well, what would that state be like in the present moment to see something that you've never seen before? Yeah, and well, the other thing I thought, or recently thought on reflection, was the concept of color. The colors are taught to you.
Yes,
colors are taught to you.
That's right. Yeah.
And then, of course, your eyes filter out colored light. Actually, the color of stuff is coming through, and we're actually perceiving. For example, the grass is green, the trees are green. Actually, they're all the colors but green. And the filter through your eyes is just giving you the green.
Right.
And you've taught yourself that's green.
Yes, that's right.
So again, coming back through the scientific understanding or whatever, that means that imagine if you weren't taught green, you would just go, all these colors, what?
Yeah.
Amazing. So anyway, but that comes back, that might be, that's another whole undoing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, you'd be in a total sense of like, wow, wonder, wow, look at this thing.
Absolutely.
So a couple of mornings before, I actually woke up with that intention for the day, that I was going to see everything for the first time.
Good.
And I thought, let's try, and I love this concept of actually, how can I be in the most present I've ever been? I'm going to see everything for the first time. And the best thing that came out of me was seeing Eden for the first time. I'm getting quite emotional about it, actually.
That's nice.
I'll take a pause, actually.